Hey, it's Manu and Stu with 22 Sounds, brand new record store here in Mandeville, Louisiana, right outside of New Orleans. And we are doing our albums of the year. This is part 2. So if you haven't checked out part 1 yet, that's obviously on our YouTube channel as well. And we tried to narrow it down to 12 albums, which of course is really hard. There's thousands of albums coming out. But these are 12 albums that we really love, that we think deserve a special mention now that the year is coming to an end. And we didn't put them in any particular order, except that we did actually choose one album of the year. That one album that we thought was a little bit bigger, better than the rest of them.
Something that we can both agree on.
Absolutely. Really, hey, we actually managed that. So that's pretty good in itself. Yeah. All right, so we'll go right in with Valerie. Her album of this year was The Moon and Stars, Prescription for Dreamers, and this is I guess I would call it a soul album at the core, and it is really one of those albums that, for lack of a better term, the best word to describe it is just beautiful. It is absolutely a gorgeous album. She is an amazing singer. She has so much emotion in her voice, and she is, and that's the most important thing, a great songwriter. I have to say, sometimes I hear music in that vein that I think is nice, but it kind of fades away in the background.
It doesn't stick with you.
Exactly, yeah. There's nothing that you remember once you listen to it, but this is not the case here. She really writes memorable, catchy hooks in those songs. And so it's really just a great album from beginning to the end. To me, one of the most beautiful albums of the year, and I think I'll come back to this for many years to come.
And speaking of catchy hooks, my pick will be the Whifs, Another Whiff. And I know I might be cheating a bit with this record because it originally came out in 2019, but due to popular demand, they did a proper reissue this year. So I was able to get a copy of it and really dive into it. Phenomenal power pop. You know, just great songs, meat and potatoes, rock and roll, verse, chorus, don't bore us, get to the chorus. Just great rock and roll. It's like I said, it's power pop. It sounds like that period of time where, you know, the end of the late 70s punk explosion and the beginning of the new wave explosion of the 80s. So it's, you know, it kind of resides somewhere in that area between those two genres. And it's just superb songwriting, catchy songs that just stay with you forever. Really a great record. If you're into power pop, you should definitely check it out. The Whiffs, Another Whiff.
And it also looks like,
right. I mean everything. I mean, these guys are obsessed with, you know, power pop. I mean, they even have the fake ring wear on the album cover. It looks like, you know, an unsigned local band that would have been.
You missed that album 30 years ago, but
it looks like a garage band that might have gone unnoticed in the early 80s, late 70s. So it's phenomenal. Definitely check it out.
Absolutely great. All right, next one is not quite as catchy. It's Spectral Wound, A Diabolical Thirst. To me, one of the black metal albums of the year. That's how I want my black metal. Really dark and evil and fast, but still with a little hint of melody. I like that. So it's not quite as, like, you know, Blazing the Northern Sky-ish, no melody anywhere inside. There is that a little bit, but it's still also not that melodic black metal that essentially just sounds like they're trying to be dissection and can't quite do it. This is really something original to me, and it's intense, it's fast, it's evil. It's absolutely a great album. And one of the things too that I like to say about this album is production in black metal is sometimes a little bit of a interesting topic. I mean, sometimes black metal albums sound shitty on purpose, basically, and it's part of it.
It's by design.
Yeah, and you want that sometimes, but this is really like a meaty, nice production without sounding like overproduced. So I think they found that nice sweet spot. It still has grit, but it's still like really in your face production.
Sounds great without losing the script.
Yeah,
it's really good, right?
I think this is how black metal should sound like these days.
Going
when you're
forward,
trying to do something new, but still have your old heroes in mind, but you're not trying to just re-record an early 90s Norwegian black metal album over and over. So yeah, absolutely great album.
And I guess for my next pick, another super aggressive record, not metal. This time it's more of a punk record. This would be Amyl and the Sniffers, Comfort to Me. This is a record we sold a lot of copies of. I think a lot of people took notice of them. This is their, I think, third album, second, third album. But I think they're finally kind of getting their stride and just really becoming one of the premier bands in the whole punk world. Super aggressive. I mean, you kind of have to see their shows to believe it. I mean, it's just over the top, stripped down, totally raw punk rock, and the album's pretty short album, which is kind of the way punk rock should be. And it's just like a huge a punch to the face, or a scratch across the face. just a totally abrasive album that I think if you haven't had time to check out. As soon as this video is over, go check it out. I mean, it's a total blast, and I think you'll become as obsessed with this band as a lot of other people are. So.
Yeah. No, what's great about it too, I think, is like it's that garage punk, but it still has like hooks in there.
Yeah.
Actually, there's like
they're good songwriters.
Yeah,
they're not just barking into a microphone. There's actually substance and skill there. It's great.
Absolutely, without going into that like pretty. Melodies or something, but somehow
this isn't pop punk. This is
no, definitely not. But it's still they managed to have like real like hooks in there, and I think that's amazing. It's really not easy to pull that off. Absolutely great album. I was really excited about that. I liked the first one, but this to me is like a whole other level.
Yeah. They're finding their stride. It's definitely a great record.
All right, the next one is The War on Drugs, I Don't Live Here Anymore. A little bit less aggressive than the last two, I would say. It's I really liked The War on Drugs. I liked the albums before that, so I had high expectations, but this might actually shape up to be my favorite War on Drugs record, because I think what they figured out this go around is to not stray away from that kind of almost like dreamy, nice arrangements that they do. Everything is always very carefully constructed. They use sometimes very simple melodies, but then kind of build upon it and really have like a big soundscape coming at you. But this time they kind of edited themselves down a little bit and made it a little bit more of those traditional song structures. There's some songs on it, especially the title track, that could be a bona fide big hit. If you ask me, it would probably be in 1987. But I think it's definitely a bit of a nostalgic record. It has a lot of 80s references in it, but I still think it's not one that just lives in the past and is like a cheap, spin-off in a way of like a knockoff of an 80s record. I think absolutely beautiful. Adam writes such beautiful melodies, big hooks. This is an album that really grew on me very quickly, and I like it better every time I listen to it.
Yep. All right, so I guess we've gotten to the big moment. We're not saying this is the greatest album of 2021, but to us, this was the highlight of the year. Our personal taste, it kind of all seemed to meet on this one album. This is something that when you put it on, you can't contain yourself. You just feel like you got to get up and just totally mosh out. It's just an amazing record. I really think this is one of the bands of the future, and that band would be Turnstyle and their album Glow On.
Absolutely. Number one of the year. Yep. Well, like Stu said, it's not a super obvious pick or like million times better than everything else, but I think they really managed something here to like from the different aspects of like guitar music and put it together into something I guess it's a hardcore album at the core, but there's really so many different things happening. Yeah,
I mean, like everybody, I'm sure you've read reviews of the album online or hear people talking about it. It sounds a lot like a 90s post-hardcore if you were around in that time, like bands like Quicksand and Shelter. They sound a lot like Shelter, but they had completely modern elements, and their aesthetic, I just love their aesthetic. It's pretty understated, very hip, you know. Like the cover of this album, for example, it's got, you know, it's like a pastel pink with white clouds on it.
Yeah.
So it just adds this whole another level of artistry on top of everything. And just, I don't know, we just love the whole package. And it's just so engaging. You know, you hear the album and you actually want to run immediately to see him live. It's just a phenomenal record. Just loved it. It was my Hurricane Ida record. I remember driving around in Houston while we were evacuating from the storm, just listening to it and all, you know, in those crazy Houston freeways. So, you know, just a great record, and definitely one I'll be spinning for the rest of my life, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think this might be the one album that will stick to them forever. That like future Turnstyle records will be compared to.
Right.
The one before was already great, but I really think like they found like their voice, their thing.
Yeah. These guys are the kings of punk and hardcore right now, and I think they deserve it. So, yep. So that was 2021.
Yeah,
it's been a pretty good year. I mean, you know, I just want to take a second to say it's been awesome to help open this record store, and you know, it's given me an opportunity to be in and around music in a whole different way. I've been in bands my whole life. I've, you know, performed on stages, recorded in recording studios. I've been a collector in record stores my whole life, but you know, having an opportunity to be on the other side of the counter has just been great, learning the ins and the outs of the business and meeting all of the music fans that come in and out, you know, the door. It's just been great, totally rewarding. And yeah, I hope 2022 builds on, you know, this year. And so yeah, thank you guys that come out to the shop, and looking forward to meeting future customers. So.
Yeah, it's really been a crazy,
crazy.
A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of nervousness, but like Stu said, really rewarding that we're able to actually do this and
living the
have
dream.
this store. And we're really trying everything we can to like put together a great mix of different genres, of old stuff, of new stuff, and that will continue. And one thing is we kind of figuring out the whole physical store thing now, so we want to get a little more active on the online front too, so hopefully get more content out here for you on our YouTube channel, between unboxing videos. We might have some other ideas that we're right now thinking of that we can do, so subscribe to our channel and keep up with us. Follow us at 22 Sound Records. We'll post what we get into the store, and yeah,
I mean, we really want to be successful, not just for us, but for the community. We love being the record store in the North Shore, you know. So yeah, definitely support us. Comment, give us any comments you'd like below. Tell us what you'd like to see in the store. Did you like this video? Want to see more like it? Just let us know.
Yeah, and tell us about all the records that we missed, and
what
idiots we
Bitch
are
at
for
us.
putting these records here, and how shitty that Turnstyle album is.
Now come to the store and tell us about it.
All right. See y'all soon. Thank you.
Later.